So identity is the new perimeter. I think I heard that for the first time. I guess I got to think about that. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and maybe I was late to the game. But it sounds like one of those phrases that should mean a lot more to me than it does. What does this mean to me, and how does it play out in healthcare IT?
Yeah, so I mean, I think when you look at how decentralized our work lives are today, no longer does everything sit behind a nice and tidy little firewall that keeps all the bad guys out. We're, accessing information all over the place, private clouds, public clouds, maybe behind the VPN or direct to third parties in the SaaS application kind of world. So there isn't this single entry point. And you also think about just the data exchange and data sharing, especially in healthcare. We think of the Cures Act and sort of the requirements that are coming in there. Data is crossing a bunch of different platforms, and so when you look at who's accessing that data, it's really kind of the front gate. Kind of, I don't want to say replaces the firewall because it certainly doesn't, but becomes almost as important or more important to be able to protect based on who's accessing. Are they legit? Is it really who they say they are? Are they supposed to have access? And then ultimately, what are they doing with that data once they get in? Once we're looking inside the session and correlating those things together. It's across the wide environments that we have and the many environments we have. And I think identity is really the critical factor there. And you see that I think have played out, like you said, over the past few years, becoming much more and more important. Where things like multi-factor authentication aren't just for the CEO and a couple of people who maybe sit in finance and some other places, company wide type of environments. I think specifically for healthcare, it plays out in a couple of ways. Access to electronic health records or even telehealth, physicians doing work at home or wherever they may be, certainly opens up more opportunities from a how to service our patients, but also making sure we have really clean ways of determining who's actually accessing that, both from a compliance, but really from thinking of it more from a security standpoint. In again, my opinion, healthcare, but maybe even definitely some other organizations and industries, identity controls have really been driven out of a need for compliance, because it's required, and not necessarily it's like, yeah, password's good enough. But now, as identity is really the front line of defense, it has to sort of change in culture and how we manage and orchestrate identity governance, lifecycle management, authentication throughout sort of the various facets of an organization, right? Just sharing a password or having password 123 be for an entire, operating wing to access anything, like, isn't viable anymore. But I also think it means from a security and IT perspective, we have to, and as a vendor even, we have to make it as easy and as frictionless as possible for those users to be able to gain that access as we sort of put it as at the front of a security.